Good morning, everybody. It's 7:40 right now, and it is time to visit with one of our favorite people, because when you get done with this segment, you're going to feel a little bit smarter.
Yes,
Michelle?
Loren Merkle joining us here this morning with Merkle Retirement Planning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Great information to share. We want to say congratulations
Look at
on
this.
the recent issue of
Thank
People
you.
to Know here in Iowa.
Yeah, there we go.
right?
There's the first one. There's the cover of the magazine. But if you turn your hymnal to page, 55, I believe. Da-da-da-da, look at this.
Are.
There it is. Done. What a great honor this is.
Yeah, it sure is.
Tell us how this all came to be.
Well, it's a great honor to be a part of DSM magazine. Retirement planning is becoming a lot more common in everyday language. So it's nice to be a part of DSM magazine and discuss a little bit about retirement planning, the importance and the role that it really plays within everybody's life.
Do you think people are taking it more seriously now?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. There's 10,000 people retiring every single day. The information that we talk about here every time I'm on the show is the stuff that they're looking for, right?
Yeah.
They need to find this information. They realize that. When you're 20 years old, retirement's 3 lifetimes away.
Yeah, you don't even think about it.
You don't even think about it. You're really consumed with what's going on within your life at that point.
Right.
But now you're 60. And you want to retire. You're tired of this working life, right? You want to
The alarm clock going off, yep.
live this luxury that you don't have to worry about the alarm clock and you can do whatever you want to do. So now you start to really hone in on these things that you know you have to tackle. Like when you stop working, where's the income going to come from?
Right. I think that's the scariest part for almost everybody is, where am I going to get my money from?
It becomes really serious. And so you start to take these items really serious, and that's where the retirement planning really comes into people's mindset. And so, yeah, it's with so many people retiring, so many people focused on these types of topics, it's becoming a lot more common in everyday language.
So talk about kind of being a leader in that industry yourself, and the kind of what sets you apart from some of the others, and maybe your approach to things.
That's a great question, because it seems like every single corner there's some kind of financial advisor office or some kind of firm, especially here in Des Moines. I mean, really, it's the financial capital of the country. What we do that's so unique, so different, is we construct physical retirement plans. So we're not just talking about the investments. We're talking about how do you mitigate the impact of taxation in your everyday life. I mean, if you have when you retire, you have a finite amount of resources. So now it's a matter of how do you get the most out of it. You've accumulated, you've saved, you've been disciplined for 40 years, and now how do you make sure that money that you've worked so hard to collect, so hard to save, works the best for you? Pay less to Uncle Sam, keep more of your own money. The long-term care is a conundrum for a lot of people. It's really expensive.
And the prices, have skyrocketed.
It's really expensive, and it is a stress point for many pre-retirees and retirees. Legacy planning, there's legislative changes that take place all the time. We were on the forefront of the Secure Act. Right? You guys were on the forefront of the Secure Act.
You presented it right when it went into effect.
December 20th it was signed. We were on that next Monday talking about how that impacts retirees' life. So that's what really sets us apart, is we stay on top of everything that's changing, and we construct those written retirement plans. So every piece of the retirement plan is adjusted, developed, and then executed and then adjusted as it needs to.
Because an individual, unless they're paying attention to it every single day as to what the changes are in the overall scheme of things, is not going to do anywhere near what you do.
Well, how would
could they?
Yeah, how would you? I mean, there are a lot of people that heard about the Secure Act on the peripheral, but what does it mean, right? Hearing about it's one thing, but then taking the minute details of that act and then applying it to your situation in a meaningful way to make sure that it doesn't negatively impact you any more than it has to, and maybe you can even get some positive benefit out of something like that as well. That's really the challenge for somebody who doesn't spend most of their life.
Now I'm going to go back to the money aspect of this, where people are saying, I'm going to retire, but where's my money going to come from? How long does it take for you to sit down with somebody who's concerned about this and get them to a comfortable level?
We really have a 3-step process, and we make it as easy as possible, because the hardest part about retirement planning is how do you get started, because it seems on the surface so complex, and it really is. So people, the inertia is just the hardest part of overcoming that inertia, getting the ball rolling. So we have a 3-step process. The first step is we just sit down. You sit down with one of our retirement planners. We talk about you, what your concerns are. This is what you're trying to accomplish. We discuss what their retirement vision is. Everybody's life is different. Everybody's retirement vision is a little bit different. Then the second step is we do an analysis, an in-depth analysis of everything that they have, Here's what they have that's working really well. Here's where some opportunities of improvement are. And then the third step is we develop that plan. And usually it's about a two-week interval in between each one of those steps. So within really 4 to 8 weeks, you can have a really well-written, customized retirement plan that demonstrates how do you accomplish your retirement vision.
So you'll take the monies that they expect from the government and then what monies that they would have coming in a potential situation and give them a ballpark of what their final number is going to be. And I'm sure that eases a lot of stress.
Oh, most definitely. And that's one of the most rewarding parts of what we do is because we say, Lou, you're going to retire in 2 years. Here's how you're going to do it, step by step. And then
it's got to make people excited.
Yeah, that security and that peace of mind and having that plan.
Yeah, and you just see the anxiety kind of wash away, and it's so cool. It's so cool to witness, and it's so cool to be a part of that journey as people go to and through retirement.
Yeah, and you're I think a key part of that too is you're very diligent on educating people on all of these things continuously. And today I know you want to talk about risky investments.
Because you need a nice little egg here to draw from, right?
Well, yeah, and nobody cares about your retirement more than you.
Right.
Nobody does, and that's why education is so important, because I have a deep felt belief that if you have the information at your fingertips that you need to make the best decisions for you possible, you're going to do just fine. But it's finding that information, making sure it's accurate, it's not misinformation, and then kind of a guide to help you apply that information in a meaningful way. Risky investments are tempting. because it's those sexy investments, right?
Great payoff,
Great payoff. I mean, two of the common ones today is the cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, right? A couple years ago, there was a Bitcoin craze where Bitcoin was just, everybody wanted to get into Bitcoin. Over the last few years, pot stocks, right? Everybody's talking about this marijuana wave.
Okay,
How do you take advantage of that? And the allure is, first of all, it's on the news everywhere. So every time you turn on the TV, you read an article, you're talking about these things and how everybody's making all this kind of money, right? And everybody's looking for that quick money. So it's tempting. It's kind of like a dream, right? Make a lot of money like the lotto. There's room for that in a plan. So that's the good news. So if you get caught up in that excitement and that craze, there can be room for that in the plan. We have a lot of families who do like to indulge in that type, but you have to do it the right way. And you have to do it really smart. The last thing you want to do is save, be disciplined for 40 years, and then have half it wiped out because this craze didn't quite work out the way that it was supposed to. And the easiest way to think about that is think about a pyramid. And if you're out there, Google the Egyptian pyramids, and it might surprise you because everybody knows the shape of a pyramid. But if you actually look at that picture, that base of that pyramid is really broad. It is really big. So when you're thinking about your retirement pyramid, that's how it should be. The base should be really secure. Because if that foundation, if that base is not broad enough, if it's not secure enough, everything else is going to crumble. And so that base, your retirement pyramid, that base should be very conservative, if not guaranteed, to make sure that everything else can stand the test of time. And then up top, at the very tip of the pyramid, that can be some of this risky stuff. The Bitcoin and the pot stocks and maybe AI technology, that kind of an investment.
Or you can be a little vested in it and follow along with it too.
So you can
say you're in it then too.
You can suffice your appetite. It keeps your interest.
Like having that little bit, I can play with this a little bit more.
And that's the fun stuff. So you can make this investing fun.
So you're not forbidding anybody to do this, but you just have to use it in the right way.
No, I mean, if we're not having fun, if we're not really enjoying what we're doing, then why do it? So if that really excites you, if it gets you going, let's do it. Let's just do it a really smart way so it doesn't upset everything
Always
else.
great advice.
Yes, great advice. And I know you have some classes coming up all throughout the year, and you've kind of specialized these classes.
Yeah, we've really broken them down to make sure that they really meet the needs of what people are looking for. So we have what's called Journey to Retirement. So it's a Journey class, and this class is intended for those who are within 5 to 10 years of retiring. And we're going to talk about the 81 different Social Security options that you have, how to maximize it, talk about tax mitigation strategies, legacy planning. We have Boost classes, Boost Your Retirement, which is intended for those who are already retired. We're going to talk about how to cover long-term care. We're going to talk about how to tweak your legacy plan as you go through retirement. And then we have a class specifically designed for women, taught by women. Women are anticipated to outlive men statistically by 2.5
Little
years.
different needs, like more money.
More money, because that last couple years typically cost the most due to health concerns. So all kinds of
Great
classes.
job.
Retirementplanning.com.
You bet.
All
Thank
the
you so much,
schedules.
Lauren. Great to see you, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
10 minutes before
Congratulations.
8 o'clock. This